Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I am Michael Huber with a splitting headache, but it is going to be okay because we are Easy Allies, and we are joined by Daniel Bloodworth.
We gotta get through an episode with nobody being sick.
I know, it's insane. I have
I was
forever
ill
headache.
last week. Now you got a headache.
Headache forever.
Oy.
Joined by Michael Damiani.
Yeah, I also have not sick, but my foot, I think I like gout or something.
What?
In my
What?
left foot. Yeah. Just like hurts to walk.
Dude.
But at least it's not sick.
My left foot
was
with
like-
Daniel Day-Lewis tonight.
Well, I got like sick twice in February. I got like stomach flu twice, so that kind of sucked. So,
Damn.
yeah.
Making it all happen in the control room. We got Isla Hank.
What up?
We got Don Casanova. And we got Gabby Montoot. Hello. And
Hey,
we
say
got
hi.
a brand new wave race coming at the Switch 2 reveal. Believe it.
Believe
You
it.
just broke Don's heart because he thought
Oh.
you knew something. The joy on
sorry,
his
fuck.
eyes.
I'm sorry. Well, it's coming. We just have to wait a couple weeks, Don. It's fine. A couple weeks
He's
away.
clapping and smiling.
Yeah, it's coming. We get to see the Switch 2 so soon. I'm so excited. But we're here to talk about what's new, what's news, and what we've been playing currently, not in a few weeks. This week's topics, an Xbox handheld / next gen. We're going to get into it. We got some Xbox news.
Yeah, we got some reports.
Some report. We love reports.
Yeah.
We have Sony and AMD have been working together on new upscaling tech. I saw Cerny talking about that a little bit, so we'll get into that. Blood and I did a full playthrough of Split Fiction,
Heck yeah.
which you can check out on twitch.tv/EasyAllies and YouTube as well. Blood has been got a little preview for us, Mandragora. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know it was a side scroller until 7 seconds ago. I've been playing the sleeper hit game of the year, without a doubt, Keep Driving. And we will have that Streets of Rage box art from my victory of last year.
Yeah.
The betting victory. So let's dive right into it. Xbox handheld this year. That
Yeah.
is crazy. With next gen coming in 2027. Bloodworth, dude, I'm just going to kick it to you. Take us away.
Sure.
Take us away right now. Xbox handheld. This is crazy. What is going on?
So, Jez Corden at Windows Central and Tom Warren at The Verge have been reporting this. So, as you know, companies can have plans and then change them. All kinds of stuff could shift around.
Yeah.
But basically, there's going to be an Xbox-branded handheld similar to the ROG Ally coming this year. And there will be, they're talking about the next-gen hardware and also a dedicated Xbox console handheld coming in 2027.
Got it.
So it's going to be, they're saying and Phil has been talking about this for a while, but they're trying to get Windows to be more streamlined and stuff for gaming than ever before. And so they're talking about having an interface that's going to be snappier and easier to use on a controller.
I still get issues with Windows login, Xbox login. It's always kind of a hassle for sure.
Right. But specifically, the next-gen machine itself will be more Windows-oriented. And so they're talking about, you will buy the next Xbox Series, whatever the heck it is, probably XX or XXX or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
They have no fear with these dumb
XXX.
names. The Xbox Series XXX will be able to run.
Starring Vin Diesel.
Will be able to not just run Xbox games, but they're saying that they're looking for it to run Steam and GOG and itch.io on your TV.
Gotta get more pieces of the pie, Bloodworth.
But of course, since that's further out, we've got more details on the handheld thing for this year.
Yeah.
This is called Project Kennen, and it's being made with collaboration with Asus. So basically, Asus is taking the ROG Ally structure, making an Xbox thing that's got all the Xbox buttons and looks like an Xbox controller and all that stuff, but it's still going to be a handheld gaming PC running Windows and all of that. I said that stuff about the snappiness stuff. Because it's basically another Windows handheld, it's not going to run like your normal Xbox games. It's just going to run the things that are on PC and the things that can run in the cloud. But they are also trying to like port more things over to PC and make more Play Anywhere style titles. So, and then the last little bit, it's due to the economic uncertainties of
economic
our current
headwinds.
The pricing and timing decisions could be up in the air. But what Jez is saying is it's targeting between $500 and $600.
Got it.
With multiple SKUs for probably something that has a larger storage space or whatever.
Immediately kicking it to Damiani. How does this impact, or does it even have an impact with the Switch 2 imminently releasing? We are close to the Switch 2. What do you make of all this?
I mean, we've kind of known that the handheld Xbox was coming for a while, but this, I guess, the clarification's nice that this isn't the first party one. That this is like a project that they'll be releasing with another vendor. But I mean, it does seem like it seems smart, but I don't think it's going to drastically do anything to change Nintendo's current, game plan that they have for the Switch 2. I think the Switch 2 will probably be priced under this in the end, despite everything. And I also think that in the end, a lot of it comes down to just software. And people want to play Nintendo games on Nintendo systems. They've done arguably one of the best jobs with that, because unlike even with like Sony, they haven't broken from platform exclusivity for the most part. The only kind of games you can get on a non-Nintendo platform is on your mobile phone, and those are very unique experiences. You don't get the traditional games on there. They wouldn't thrive anyway, but like it's not like a place for those, for those traditional experiences that you're not going to get them on there. So they don't put their games on PC, yet. Maybe one day, but probably not. And so, their value is there. And so their consumers and their customer base know that if you want to play the next Zelda, if you want to play the next Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, you're going to need to have a Switch 2.
Wave Race.
And as long as those properties are stay strong and continue to sell well, then Nintendo kind of has like their kind of like magic formula set right now. I think the only thing people are curious about is, we'll switch to how much will it maintain the momentum of Switch 1? Because, something could be slightly different. Who knows? But in terms of this with Microsoft and this portable Xbox, I think it's more... It's not really going to, I don't think it's going to really take away anything. It just might be, some people might consider getting something like this over maybe like a traditional Xbox console, because they do like the portability and having like maybe a higher end. So like you have, it also depends. We don't know how powerful Switch 2 really is. We haven't seen anything but like a few snippets of the new Mario Kart. But we haven't seen anything really truly running on it nice and clean, especially like any of those big third party games that we've heard are rumored.
So soon.
So it could be more. We don't know how much more powerful. Like what the power under the hood for this portable Xbox is really going to do. So I honestly don't think it's that, it's just another option out there. We've like everything has already existed, like the ROG Ally, the Steam Deck, like those things. It's just another iteration of that. I think the benefit is going to be the Microsoft ecosystem, like having Game Pass and everything on that. I think that's going to make it have like a little bit more of an edge over those types of competitors, but I don't think it's going to get any kind of edge over, say, like Nintendo right now and the Switch 2 specifically.
Because the thing is like essentially it's, those other, like the ROG Ally and the Lenovo Legion Go and all that, like those already do all the same stuff that this handheld can do. The basic difference is just that, like, oh, it's got an Xbox branding on it. Like, it says it's an Xbox specifically and not just on a TV commercial, right? So, yeah. So I think this will probably be, like, I think there's a good chance that this will be, like, second. Like, Xbox might, like, just edge out what the ROG Ally is doing, you know, just because of that brand recognition.
Yeah.
But probably, like, Steam Deck will still be sort of seen as the de facto default of that market, and then it's still going to be an entirely separate thing from the Switch, really. Yeah.
Isla, I know you have multiple handhelds.
I've got them all, baby.
Yeah. It's right in your wheelhouse. What do you make of this announcement, and would this offer you anything?
It's not an announcement.
Huh?
It's not announced.
No, this is rumor.
Not been announced.
Yes, this is a rumor. What could they do anything to entice you to hop into this?
It's interesting because, like, I'm happy it exists, whatever, and I think that their model of, like, getting more people able to play things on whatever and wherever is fine, but, like, having a Steam Deck and on the horizon of a Switch 2, I think, and, like, PlayStation Portal, and, like, honestly, having played xCloud with my phone and a phone controller, that already covers my need for any niche Xbox mobile gaming experience that I need. So I don't personally need this one. But I'm glad it exists.
Nice. You know? Great. Yeah, more
or theoretically
coming.
Will exist.
Yeah, theoretically.
Yeah.
You gonna say something, Demi?
Oh, you're probably going to get to it. I didn't want to jump ahead.
No, go for it. Dive in.
I think the more, I mean, this is intriguing, but and to agree with what Blood said, like, you know, it's competing in its own, like, a different space than Switch 2 or even probably Steam Deck. I think the more interesting parts of the rumors, because it's also backed by those old, like, a few years old leaks now. Like, when members said, like, Xbox was going to ditch disc and physical, was going to go, like, digital. They're already showing, like, code names for future systems, is like the next gen hardware and the first party handheld,
right?
That's coming down the line, supposedly, like, what those might entail, because that could be. I'm just curious what their strategy is, because on the hardware end, they seem dedicated to continue making hardware, even though they've, you know, been coming in technically last. Like, I guess dollar amount, they've been second ahead of Switch, but in, like, units. But, like, once Switch 2 comes out, I'm sure it's going to switch right back to Switch 2 being neck and neck, or you know, eclipsing PlayStation 5 in first place probably, and Microsoft right back in third place. So they seem to be very content with, you know, and I mean, not content, but okay with that strategy, that their hardware isn't really pushing the numbers. But unless they think, you know, the handheld is where they're going to be able to, like, push more units.
That was my question.
Yeah, because, like, they're doing it with they're doing this first iteration, supposedly. It's not officially announced, but then they're going to do a first party one. So, like, they seem like a little bit more confident in that, and they still seem confident in their hardware. So I think they're really committed to their plan about Game Pass and Xbox Anywhere, basically, that
everything's an Xbox.
Everything is an Xbox. And honestly, yeah, I think maybe it's them giving it, like, one more generation, because this is kind of like the first generation where it was, like, fully, you know, kind of materialized, like, everything was in place for this. There were still a few rough patches, but, you know, because Xbox One had the misfire at the beginning with the reveal and everything, and it was like, because they wanted to do that from the start, but everyone hated that and didn't like the future, so they said no to that. But I mean, also, like, physical games and preservation, like, rightfully so, you should still have an option for that. Just like Sony is selling a disk drive, even though they don't sell a model anymore with the disk drive built in, they still are selling disk drives in physical games. But yes, this will be like a second generation where they're in this ecosystem. I think they're just, you know, they're sticking to their guns and they're seeing how it's going to play out. Now, I think if, like, numbers keep trending downward in the next generation, there might be some rumblings of some significant changes, but maybe it is, like, what they're saying, it is it's successful enough that this is the course they're going to be. So maybe they'll never ever lead in hardware sales and dollars per units from Circana's measurements ever again. But their services are just bringing in so much money that it's fine. Like it's a thing for enthusiasts, for Xbox enthusiasts, but also their platform is available. Their services are available on like so many different platforms that is the real strategy.
Well, I
I've
mean,
been saying that over and over again.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like when you talk about comparative numbers, right? Like again, we talk about the Steam Deck being the de facto thing that people talk about, but it's not a gigantic seller.
Yeah.
Like it's a very like niche product in comparison to the consoles. The thing that I am somewhat worried about, and I wonder how they're going to get the messaging across on this, because we haven't seen anything official yet. We haven't seen what they're going to announce, how they're going to market it, how they're going to present it. Is will the general consumer that sees this thing on a shelf get it?
Yeah, will they understand it?
That this is a handheld PC and not a handheld Xbox.
Yeah.
Will they get home and be like, I can't play, 60% of my Xbox games on this thing, and want to take it back, or get upset, or and then the other thing
more
is like,
Xbox marketing confusion, Blood, is basically what you're saying.
But then if they have the quote unquote console version come out in 2027, now you've got these two things side by side that look the same but play completely different games.
Yeah.
So like that's probably one of the reasons that they're looking to let's try to get Steam and all this stuff running on the console, because if not, it's going to be a huge freaking mess if you got one machine that plays PC games and one machine that plays console games.
Like I know we had
a lot of the games are the same, but not all of them.
Yeah, I know we had PlayStation Portable, but just call it the Xbox Portable or something, or the Xbox Handheld. Make it as clear as possible.
But that's the thing, though, is what they even name it, right?
Yeah.
After Project Kennen is okay, is it the Xbox Handheld? Is it the Xbox Handheld PC?
Yeah.
What is this thing going to be called?
Yeah. And I wonder how many years in advance all this stuff is planned out. How easy is it or how hard is it for Microsoft to pivot these plans? If they're making a handheld, that's got to be just years and years of research and development and all of that.
Well, that's why they're kind of doing this now.
Yeah.
It's you guys already made one. Let's stick our name on it.
Yeah. Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Handhelds.
What about 2027 for next gen? Think that's right? You think it's going to?
Oh, you mean the
to
timing of
2028?
it? I'll switch to 2025 this year, and then when 2020 was when we got Xbox and PlayStation, right? November 2020?
I think 2028 feels righter.
Yeah,
So that's
I feel like it could
years?
slide a little bit into 2028.
Yeah, 2027 feels like early days, but 2028 also feels at the same time like it could be totally new console.
It's a strange thing because when I look at when they came out, right? When I look, these things came out in 2020.
Yeah.
It's 2027. That makes
7
sense.
years.
But when I just think about how I feel right now,
I feel like we're just getting started. Yeah.
I'm not ready for next gen necessarily. It's okay, I'll take it. But
I think as we had cross gen for so long too, all the way up until basically 2024, even this year a little bit, it's finally slipping away. But because that was so long, it feels like this year now finally is kind of just all right, here we go, fully in this gen.
I think 8 years for the last one was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That was the longest one, but I mean, it seems like they were moving towards that. But I could see maybe 7.
Yeah.
Still being with in it, but 2027, end of 2027 seems completely plausible.
Yeah.
I just think any earlier than that, anyone saying 2026, I think that's too soon.
I think just with the pandemic too, time feels just so different over the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Next gen. I mean, we already have the PS5 Pro. We're getting Switch 2. Things are cooking.
And Xbox doesn't have a Pro. It looks like they got rid of that idea. So they're.
I think that's a smart move.
But at the same time though, it's this weird thing where it's before it's well, you got an Xbox and you got the PS5. They're basically the same thing. You're gonna pick one up over the other. for exclusives.
Yeah.
Now with the Pro, it's like, well, the PlayStation has a like legitimately stronger machine.
Yeah.
And Xbox has nothing to counter it at
Yeah,
all. So
totally.
it's interesting.
My last concern is going to be, because you kind of were alluding to it, with like SKU confusion with Microsoft.
SKU confusion is a
But
great
Just
segment.
general consumer confusion over handhelds. I feel like Switch is going to be the one that will always be safe because it's like the most known quantity. It's a brand. It's been around the longest, and people will say that, they'll understand it. Everything else, Steam Deck, ROG Ally, Lenovo, the Xbox, the rumored Sony one, if that comes to fruition, is there just gonna be too many handheld gaming devices where people are like,
Complete
what
global
the heck?
saturation.
Yeah, it's two things. One, I think people are just gonna start falling to the most recognizable names. Will probably be like Switch, and maybe like Xbox or PlayStation. That's why those maybe, I don't know. Well, I don't know how that's going to play out. The other one is, can the market really can it support so many different handheld devices? If everyone's like, well, consoles are not, set-top boxes aren't the thing anymore. We want to all go handheld. Can the market support all of those handhelds, or is it just become oversaturated? I'm very curious, because I think it can't. That would be my guess, is that it's gonna be a bit messy.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I don't know if like it'll be just the big three who survive. Maybe someone else like steps in. Like maybe it is like Valve and Steam Deck's like, no, we were here earlier. People trust us. I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see it play out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I've compared those more to laptops than consoles, because it's like, they are just basically
Portable
Windows
computer.
machines.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, do you want a tower or do you want a laptop? Do you want a handheld? Like, they're all basically the same thing. Obviously, the advantages and disadvantages for each configuration. But if we do in 2027 get a handheld Xbox, that's when I think, or if we get a PlayStation, one of those two, that's when I think it gets a little bit maybe stranger to think about. Like, I guess in that sense, it's like, okay, the handheld Xbox will be part of that branch of whatever the Xbox generation looks like, and the PlayStation will have its own thing if they do that. But if either of them tries to make a machine that's like different than their console, it's not just a
like
portable
a
console,
PSP Vita situation.
Right.
Yeah.
That's probably not going to work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%. It's going to be interesting in a couple weeks when we finally see that Switch 2 in all of its glory. I'm excited. So excited. All right. Next up, speaking of Sony here, Sony and AMD joined forces for FSR4. That is not a Fast and the Furious movie. That is the new tech. Mark Cerny revealed that Sony has been partnering with AMD to develop FSR4, which aims to put both companies in stronger competition with NVIDIA's DLSS upscaling technology. FSR4 will not only be available for AMD's graphics cards, but it looks like something similar will replace PSSR on PS5 Pro in 2026, so making those old games look even better. I feel like now, too, we're seeing, we learn that Silent Hill F will be Pro enhanced. We see Death Stranding 2 will be Pro enhanced. Like, Pro enhancements are starting to finally become a thing.
Yeah.
And I always like when like older games look better. I love, I'm a big
I don't think
replayer. I replay so many old games. So
I don't think that's going to happen too much with I mean, this is going to be like, this is something that like the developers actually have to implement PSSR.
Yeah, of course.
So, but yeah, it's going to, Cerny's whole thing is, keeping those stable 60 frame per second frame rates.
Yeah.
While still having your bell and whistle ray tracing and everything.
So in an interview with Digital Foundry, Cerny said that the collaboration began in late 2023, shortly after his team wrapped up work on PSSR. It also sounds like they're looking to work together on future hardware to close the differences between PlayStation and AMD architectures. So just getting that closer together. Quote, the longer-term goal is to work together to create a more ideal hardware architecture for machine learning. Terminator, look out. Something capable of processing the neural networks needed for game graphics at high speed. PS5 Pro was a wonderful learning experience for us here at SIE, and of course AMD has an incredible amount of knowledge for its multi-generational RDNA roadmap. Again, it just makes sense to combine those expertises. So yeah. Any takes on this, Damiani? What do you think?
I mean, so it's surprising and good to learn if you're a PlayStation fan that the AMD and Sony, or PlayStation and Sony specifically, were contributing to the development of FSR 4, and also that that machine learning that they were applying to that will be implemented in PlayStation 5 Pro next year in an update. So that is very promising for two reasons. One, I mean, PlayStation users are going to win out. It's going to make the PS5 Pro, hopefully, if it is well received, it's going to make the PS5 Pro that more appealing until PlayStation 6 comes out, because
this buys them years.
You are going to be hitting those high frame rates. And it'll be interesting to see like how much latency, because that's the cost to trade off, is you get a little bit more input latency when you have to use that machine learning to achieve. I believe that's how it is. I don't know if it's exactly the same as like frame generation. Is it? I don't know if it's exactly the same, but like it's a small amount. And if they're hitting good frame rates already, that's what you want. You don't want them hitting like 30 frames and then using that to boost it to like 120. You want them to already be hitting like 60 and then maybe boosting that up. So yeah, it's gonna be good for that. But also it's helping push another competitor to NVIDIA. They have a new partner who's helping them out to push the FSR to compete with DLSSR. And that just makes it better for consumers, because anything to push back against NVIDIA right now is good, because they have way too much of a monopoly on high-end GPU. And while this isn't necessarily going to change anything about that part of the equation, this is good for, I think, for consoles, because a lot of these companies do work with AMD in some capacity, and it will, potentially benefit more. And honestly, it's also very exciting for what they might have in store for PlayStation 6. If they're working hand in hand with that could be good. Yeah. The only thing is,
that's what you were saying there at the end, because basically the way it is now, there's so much difference in the architecture that it's going to take them time to adapt FSR and create the new PSSR out of it. But if if their hardware is more similar on PlayStation 6, then when AMD makes a breakthrough, then they can just basically roll that into the PlayStation 6 firmware.
This is crazy. I mean, look what we've been talking about for the last half hour. Freaking next gen Xbox. Now we're talking about PS6, Switch 2. Things are happening right now.
Well, this has been always the talk, is that these types of technologies that AMD and NVIDIA implementing are a result of that the raw power of GPUs. Generationally, you're not seeing the big leaps anymore, or there's a concern that there aren't going to be as big of a leap, and so that these FSR, DLSS are needed to kind of up the wow factor in terms of performance. And so if this is really it, I mean, this is the rumor with Switch 2, is that Switch 2 on paper from the rumors doesn't look incredibly powerful, but then you have people swearing all these third-party games are coming to it. It's how's that possible? How are they even going to run remotely well on this handheld if it only is under the hood? And there's rumors that Nintendo has its own upscaling technology with NVIDIA, because they're working with NVIDIA. So it's oh, well, they're utilizing that as well, and that's how they're going to get around it. So the cost might be games run at lower resolutions, and then use this upscaling to improve the resolution. And then maybe down the line, I was wrong, but it's separate. I mean, they don't have it yet, but if they ever do figure out something like frame gen, NVIDIA, maybe Switch 3 or Switch 2 Pro or something gets frame generation down the line or something. Or if, AMD figures out a version of it, they can implement it in PlayStation 6 or PS6 Pro or whatever. But this is the thing. They're pushing each other to develop these features. And again, it's for the console market, this seems pretty good, because it's just going to result in better features, especially right now for it sounds like for PlayStation, sounds like for Switch, and we'll see what Microsoft, and their own stuff coming up, what they've got cooking in there too.
It does feel like the console generations are getting so much more muddied because things are just coming out at different times. Like we're getting Pro machines, we're getting Switch 2 already coming out, like potentially this year. And yeah, it just feels like everyone's kind of just in their own lane developing their own tech, and they're going to release it when they feel the time is right. Whereas I feel just like back in the day, it was like clear, okay, console generations are like a year or so apart from each other, each system.
I mean, yeah, it remains to be seen, like, you know, when Xbox and PlayStation will come out. But I feel like this kind of fits the pattern that we've had where, you know,
it's ramping up.
Nintendo's coming out at kind of a different time, and then those two will come out at the same time.
Any thoughts, Isla, on Sony upscaling tech? Does that excite you at all, or are you just waiting for the PS6?
Head empty, heart empty, baby.
Alrighty. Sony cooking. All right, it's time to dive in to one of the greatest games of the year. Holy moly. The highest reviewed game of the year so far.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Nice.
Beat out Monster Hunter by 1 point. It's got like a
Nice.
92 or something. I think Monster Hunter is a 91. That is Split Fiction from Hazelight Studios. Again, Bloodworth and I had the pleasure of playing through this whole thing. You can
We
watch.
stuck to it. We got through the whole thing in a few days.
Yeah, you can
Saw
definitely.
this whole crazy game.
Yeah. So definitely check out that archive if you're curious about it. I'm gonna throw it to you, Blood, for your thoughts on this, because I got thoughts. I got takes. Holy
Well,
shit.
I did the preview, and I came
Yeah.
back. You know, I couldn't stop talking about it with the preview. But yeah, it's just like one of the funniest things was like I was kind of catching myself doing it, but like we could go through this game, and like every once in a while it'll be like, Uncharted.
Yep.
You know, it's like, there's
Nope,
there's
God of War.
It's the train, but the train's spinning now or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, there's like, God of War. This is what, because that's the thing. It's like we had some of those criticisms for like God of War.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like where the like the big epic scale things, those moments, and
Yeah.
it's like they're right here, and this
So
game's got
many
them.
in this game, yeah.
And then like. And like with the creativity and stuff, it's like, see, this is what I meant. Like Astrobot had a little headroom. It could have done more. There's, you know, and then when we got towards the end, and it was like, yeah, the thing I was thinking of, like how Nintendo's talked about like the challenge of making like multiplayer Mario, right? And they've done it in 2D now, but they haven't done it in 3D. And it's like, well, there you go. There's
3D World.
This is essentially, well, yeah, you're right, but not the same way, right? Like, yeah.
I know what you mean. I love 3D World, though.
But
I won't stand for the 3D World erasure.
That's true. but 3D World has a lot of issues.
It's got some issue, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, I will acknowledge
Yeah.
that for sure.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't understand how you make this game.
I don't
first of all.
understand
Like,
how you make this game. I don't understand how this game runs.
Yeah.
Especially, like, we we're not going to spoil the stuff at the end, but the
Nope.
stuff at the end is just like, what the freak? This should not be possible,
Yeah.
dude. It should not
And
work.
That's something I want to talk about too. We've been talking about tech on this episode, so I feel like it's relevant. I'm a tech enthusiast. Everyone always just thinks graphics. Oh, tech graphics. I don't care about graphics. I don't care about graphics. But like the technology used in this freaking video game makes for a better video game because of the tech. Like that stuff in the finale could not be possible if it weren't for tech. So I will always preach that tech absolutely matters for video games so much. And it's not just visuals, it's actual gameplay. And that is on display in full force in Split Fiction.
Yeah, and like this game ran well the whole time. Like I don't recall like anything I would call a bug really.
No.
Like when
I think my character like got in the wall a little bit, like maybe one time,
one
but like
time.
who cares, whatever.
So there was like one time where like we had like a ball of yarn and just like because it was being rendered in both of our games, right? Like on my side, the ball of yarn had completely been unraveled,
right.
and on yours there was like a little bit left, and like chat was yelling at me. It's like there's still more left on the ball, and like no, there's not. Didn't realize until after the fact that like, oh, what you could see was different with than what I could see.
Some weird under the hood stuff there.
But it's one of the things that I think is interesting is that you have this take that like, oh, you would want some collectibles and stuff like that.
Only on a second playthrough.
On a second playthrough, that's interesting. But I think there's like a level of like they do have their little secrets, little spots to find, little things to play with, without bogging it all down.
Totally, the pacing is ridiculously perfect, and all of those moments usually result in a trophy, which is fun. It's like, okay, this feels like we can interact with this location as like just a total side diversion, and then it almost always ended in like, oh, we got a trophy because of that. Like, so that's fun. It rewards you in that way. I love those moments where it's like we just do a big, huge thing, and it's like, okay, let's just chill out. Let's just vibe out and like breathe in this area and swim in the swimming pool.
yeah, because you get a lot of these like really like high and intense chase sequences and stuff like that, where it's just very reaction based gameplay. And then you get into like this like little Halloween wizard town, and it's just shops on both sides of the street, and like, what's this thing do? What's that thing?
It's
do?
unbelievable.
What's this over there?
It's
so many things to see.
Yeah, I remember saying the same thing about It Takes Two, where it's like, wow, they introduce a mechanic, and then they have like 10 ways that mechanic is used.
Right.
Split Fiction now is that, but even more so. I mean, there are so many different mechanics, and all of them are used in so many creative ways. Like, I just think of, the guns you get later, and just, turning into little, turning into things.
Yeah, because with the Contra, like, section, so, like, you have your, like, just your normal, like, machine gun.
Yeah.
But then you also have, essentially, like, a remote grenade. Mm-hmm. And you use the remote grenade to like blast apart shields. Mm-hmm. And there's so many different ways that they use that grenade.
So many different ways.
There's times when like, you just blast a shield off at an enemy and now we can attack it. But then it's like, okay, it's like there's this wall and like I've got to make a hole in it for Huber to go through and he's got to make a hole for me to go through. And then like there's things where like there's something going across and we've got to like blast our grenades at the same time. Yeah. And it's like just one thing after another.
And the flawless design, another reason this game is so critically acclaimed, is how intuitive it is. Yeah. How easy it is to control and how easy it is to fully understand exactly what you need to do at any given time, even though it is constantly giving you new tools and new environments to explore.
And the fact that, you constantly need to talk to each other and like, oh, I see this, and you just put the pieces together, but then it's like, it still flows. So it's this weird thing to where it's like, at times you almost feel like it's all just playing out, in sequence, but it's like, but no, we're doing all this. We just are in sync. We're in sync with each other, and we're in sync with what the game is telling us.
Yeah, sometimes we didn't even say a word. We were just like, okay, I'm going to move this here. Blood's going to do this. I'm going to do that, and we're going to progress. It's like,
And that's one of the wild things, too, is that so much of the game, each player has like the same, kind of basic movements or whatever, but you each have like your own unique thing that the other character can't do. And that also means that sometimes you go, like, the levels are designed for two people to be going on completely different routes.
Yeah.
And you see that kind of early on, like one of the more obvious ways where, like, you have the gravity shifting mechanic.
Yep.
And so, like, you're literally walking on the ceiling while I'm walking on the floor.
So cool.
And then you're, like, hijacking trucks and driving them over to me to jump onto. It's
Love it.
I will say one of the crazy things about playing through this full thing from start to finish with Huber is, being so close to when I did that preview event, and like we jammed through a lot of the game in 3 hours.
It's crazy.
But they were skipping us around, and now to see the fullness of it all is like, oh, they were really skipping us around.
Yeah.
Like there's just like whole sections of these levels that I hadn't seen yet. And then, some of the stuff I had seen was like, very, very close to the end of the game. And
Yeah. They
when
wanted
are
to
we
show
getting
it
to
off.
that? When are we getting to that? When are
Yeah.
we getting to that? Yeah.
They wanted to build the hype.
And it's just, but there was just so much else that was packed in between there.
Yeah. And then shout out, of course, it is easy to lament the corporations in this industry, especially lately, as the layoffs have increased.
That's what this whole game is about, by the way.
Yes, there are some really
the
good
corporate shenanigans.
some extremely good commentary in this. So a lot of
Executives stealing people's ideas.
yeah. So it's easy to lose faith in this industry, but then a game like this comes along and restores that faith, because this is a game where you only need one copy.
Right.
You only need to buy one copy of this game and both people get it. And that is just like the most jolly, wholesome thank you.
They made
thank
it
you, Hazelight.
cross-platform this time too?
Yeah.
It's like, what?
So that is just incredible. Like, this is one of those games that is just like, it's impossible to just not be like grateful and thankful for a game like this. It really is a game for the players, a game for the people, a game for one and all. If you just love video games, like, you absolutely deserve to play this and should play this game. This is the highest possible recommendation.
Yeah, I will say for people that love video games, because this is a challenging game at times, especially when you look at the bosses and stuff like that, which are some great freaking bosses.
As much as I tried it with It Takes Two, it's like, this is not baby's first game. Like, this is like, there's a lot of mechanics. You have to control the camera and figure stuff out. Like, it is not the easiest game ever made, but it's not really like challenging in that sense. But
you did want to tell Damian about the Ice King, though.
maybe not. Maybe not. Considering
Remember,
that.
if it's a spoiler, I'm gonna be playing it soon.
Yeah,
so.
maybe not. Maybe I'm gonna. As much as I really want to, and I told Chad I was gonna say it like 100 times, but no, we'll let Damiani stumble upon that. The story is. The discourse I've seen around the story is that people could take it or leave it, but I'm gonna push back against that and say I was affected by the emotions. I think sometimes it's like,
I think
how do I explain this?
I think it does go into like the intentionally cheesy stuff, for sure.
But it's wholesome as hell, and I feel like it's so easy to like find people who have been lucky enough to never experience loss, because there are people out there that just like, wow, lucky. Haven't really felt that much loss in your life. Like, this game is about confronting that. That is the main theme in my eyes. Obviously, there's like the corporation plot line, but it is a game about just like the raw emotions, which I'm always so down for, dude. Give me these like simple, relatable human stories. Like, that stuff affects me so hard. And I really think it gets there. Like, sometimes the cutscenes were maybe a little long-winded, like here and there. But it always
there's a lot to set it up at the beginning, for sure.
But then, they always felt necessary and meaningful in the end. Like, it gets there in the end. I will say that. I like the story as well.
Yeah.
The whole package. I know the other allies haven't really played this yet. What are y'all waiting for? That's my question. What are y'all waiting for?
Well, Damiani's waiting for a stream specifically.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be starting it Saturday.
Excellent. So. How about in there? Isla, Gabby, Dawn, you gonna play Split Fiction?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it with me wife.
That is
some
so jolly, so wholesome.
This is blocking my face. I realized that the two characters kind of look like me and my wife. But then I was saying to Gabby, but I wear a red leather jacket, so now I'm conflicted because I should play as the white blonde girl. But I wear a red leather jacket, so what do I identify with more? Probably the jacket, but who knows?
Hell yeah.
Gabby's gonna play it with Jason, but that's
is
later.
So wholesome. Yes, find your person. Find your person to play Split Fiction with.
But that's the thing, Hubert. Like even just their faces look so freaking good, dude.
It's so good. Yeah, the graphics actually surprised me when we started to play. Right when we boot it up, I was like, oh, this looks good.
Yeah, and like the one of the things that I was really appreciating is that like in every one of these new scenarios or whatever, it's not like they've just like recolored like their outfits. It's like, no, like she actually has a very different design on her suit than her suit. You know? And even the dragons, it's like her dragon is different than her dragon.
So crazy.
And so much detail that had to go into all of that.
Also, shout out to just like streaming this game because chat gets to see like both players and what they're doing.
Right.
You know, like when you're playing it, so like it sometimes
Your brain
I would
shuts
not.
it out.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're
sometimes
looking
I wouldn't
at.
look at your
it's
screen.
right there. It's right next to me.
Yeah, for so long, Blood. I'd be like, wait, what are you doing over there? Like even though it's right there. So yeah, super fun, unreal. Split Fiction, truly one of the best games of the year. It's crazy to think if this had come out in November. Would it have beaten Astrobot? Like, would it have been Goaty? And now it's a tale as old as time. You know, coming out in the beginning of the year, a little harder to capture that Goaty at the end of the year. So we will see. Because this might be my
Keely Joseph Ferris ties run deep, though. I don't think the Game Awards proper will forget.
Totally. Yeah, this might be
Autonom, you know.
I think It Takes Two came out kind of earlier as well. I don't remember exactly when, but it wasn't like Q4. I don't believe.
This might be my favorite game of theirs. And what a run! Holy crap! I know Brothers was just Joseph Ferris, but in terms of Hazelight with A Way Out and It Takes Two and now Split Fiction, I mean that is an incredible 3-game run right there. That is nuts.
Yeah.
This truly feels like the culmination. And I remember saying that after It Takes Two. I was like, wow, this is the culmination of this formula, this format. And then they make this game, and I'm like, wow, wait, now this is the culmination. Like, where do you even go from here, Hazelight?
Right.
No idea.
You think they'll keep making co-op games like this?
Yeah, I don't know. That's my question.
It's the wild thing about it is that just that continual pace of like, what is happening now?
Yeah.
What is happening now? Like, from both like thematically and the scale of things and the just changes in the gameplay. It's just crazy that they got all of these ideas into one thing.
Yeah, and shout out to the boss fights. Definitely there will be at least one boss who makes it on our best boss fights of the year.
One of the boss fights toward the end where it's like we really had to co-op.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Damiani, dude, a lot of AoEs, dude, MMO strats.
True.
Damiani, there was literally a boss fight where I moved the camera just like fully up to look like down at the arena. I'm just like, okay, I'm playing an MMO right now. Yeah.
There you go. That is how you do it. That is the way.
But yeah, this part where you're flying the ship and I was shooting.
So cool. It's so
I like how smoothly it goes from one thing to the next.
Yeah.
It's unreal. It's unreal, Isla. Holy crap.
To tell you the truth, like I wasn't overly like I assumed that this game would be really solid, you know, but I wasn't overly interested until I saw this gameplay right now with like the double jump air dash.
Double jump, you gotta have a double jump air dash.
All right, we got a video game here. I'm in.
Double jump air dash to a grapple also.
Hell
It's
yeah.
it's one of the best things in video games. I love it. Yeah, Split Fiction. So generous. Thank you, Hazelight. Seriously, I'll clap for that. One copy, you get two. Buy one, get one free, baby.
I love that. Dude.
Unbelievable.
That's so good.
So good. So good. Your move, Rockstar.
Right.
What do you want Rockstar to do?
Well, no, because just the rumors of the $100 price for
The first copy is $100, and then you can get a second copy for $340.
So great. All right. Yep. Split Fiction. Again, check out our full playthrough. That is archived. That is ready to go. Check it out. Or play it yourself and then watch it. We got a nice little something here. It took quite a long time to put together, but I just want to give a huge shout out to Isla for spearheading this operation.
You didn't give me a choice.
Yeah.
For months, I was like, Hubert, we need to do that thing.
I'm just like, yeah, we'll do it. We'll get it. It's just like, took matters into your own hands, Isla.
And it shows.
Yeah. Isla and I had to put together a song because we lost an episode of MinnMax's Trivia Tower. So we had to produce a song for MinnMax, which they also aired recently on their podcast. But now we're going to air it here as well. Shout out to MinnMax. And yeah, Isla, take it away. If you want to preface it at all, or
let me preface it a little. So yeah, we lost Trivia Tower.
Yes.
And I didn't, and all I remembered was that we had to do a song for our stakes or whatever. And I vaguely recalled that it had to be maybe about MinnMax. And for months I was like, Hubert, write me lyrics so I can do this song. And then I made a track. I made drums and some soundscape stuff. And I was like, here's kind of the direction I'm thinking, kind of like an aggressive sort of industrial kind of, because that's what I make. Write me some lyrics, and then he didn't do that either. So I just wrote some lyrics, made a melody, and we came in. To Hubert's credit, though, he came in, he hadn't really heard it before getting into the booth, and you did a great job. Obviously I finessed our voices in post or whatever, but I don't know, I had a lot of fun with it.
I'm the next Jungkook. Let's go.
Definitely. How much auto-tune does he need? No, okay. So it's 2 minutes long, and it's, I don't know, it might be loud. We'll see. Damiani, I'm not sure you'll be able to hear it, so you might have to listen on the just later or not at all or whatever.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. It's called MinnMax Cross Easy A, I Want a Max.
I want a max.
With 3 X's. Yeah. All right. Hopefully you can hear it.
This alliance ain't always been easy. Thinking back, some moments displease me. Oh no. Oh no. I've been under some strange delusions, like a tower of endless confusions. Oh no. Oh no. Life is hard, those are the facts. I need some tips and tricks to help me relax. Oh no. Oh no. Sometimes I'm in and sometimes I'm max. Sometimes I pull the knives from my backs. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no. You want a min or you want a max? You want a min or you want a max? You want a min or you want a max? You want a min or I want a max, I want a max. No, 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 no. I want a max. No, 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 no. I want a max. No, 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 no. I want a max. No, 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 no. I want a max.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I want a max. Gets me so hyped.
Thanks.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Yep.
that.
Now we'll win the rematch, Isla. We'll have them make a song.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because it's and I know they expected less of a effort, but because they tell us to come up with stakes ahead of time and specifically say nothing too crazy, nothing too time consuming, and then we lost because I was like, okay, write a 1-page poem or a short story. So I can't remember what I was gonna say if we lost or if we won. And then they were like, make a song, and I was like, that's complicated. That takes a minute. Yeah, but it was fun.
Hell yeah.
A pleasure.
Hell yeah. Love it, Isla. Thank you for spearheading that operation. And shout out to MinnMax.
Thanks for featuring on a track, Hubie.
Hell yeah.
Loved it.
All right. Back to more previews. Bloodworth.
Yo.
I seriously have no idea what this game is. Please enlighten me. Mandragora, Whispers of the Witch Tree.
Yeah. So this is being
Looks
put out, published
sick.
by Knight's Peak, made by a studio called Primal in Hungary, and it's a side-scrolling action RPG.
It looks awesome.
So think about it, it's sort of like if you had a side-scrolling Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Is partly what they're going for. And
Tales of Iron shout out.
but you have 6 different starting classes that are there. But the preview build only had 3 of them.
Got it.
And the footage only captured the Nightshade, and you can see there the poison blades. So that's
Looks
the Nightshade's main ability,
nice.
is poison
Fun.
blades.
Yeah.
I love Poison Blade.
And I love in economy, that's the first thing I noticed in the bottom right corner, we got currencies.
Yeah, yeah. So there's currencies you definitely have to worry about. There's definitely more stuff that I wanted to get, and what's interesting is they started out with just like a couple of people. Now they've got like a full studio up to like around 50 people, and they've been working on it for like 7 years altogether. But like I said, like slowly
Wow.
building up their team.
Jeez.
But it's easy to kind of look at this and it's like, oh, this is another Metroidvania.
Yeah.
And they're kind of pushing back on it. It's like, it's not Metroidvania. It's an action RPG.
Whoa, Path of Exile
Yeah,
too.
yeah, you see the skill tree there.
Jeez. Okay.
And it's
All
not
right.
too bad.
I see
once
you, Mandragora.
It's not too bad once you actually start getting into it. But I was like poking around. It's like, okay, what skills do I want?
That is a
here?
lot of numbers too on the sides here. That
Right.
is wowzers. Okay, so we are like a RPG.
But you can see the different classes that are there as well. But one of the things that's sort of interesting, Huber, is
3 strength, blood. That's not enough. You got to pump that.
is you
Oh, I love this.
you basically can get like the abilities from the other classes as well.
Yeah.
So you can buy like a crystal or whatever to use a different class's
Yeah.
skills too, and you can kind of swap between them.
That shop looked really good, blood.
But yeah, so I played as the Nightshade for a while, and it definitely felt like a bit of more of a slow burn. For like
Great.
at first, it feels sort of like, okay, this is just, I'm kind of like doing the same simple things over and over
Dude,
again.
I'm hooked, blood.
But once you start getting like your abilities and stuff, and you start getting new options in
Yeah.
combat,
Oh my
because like
God.
there's a thing that I unlocked with them where he can see an enemy weak point, but it's not like what I was imagining it. And so essentially, sometimes it will allow for you to, like, there will be like a little arrow that will be on like either the left or the right of an enemy. And so like if you roll behind them and then attack, then you'll do more damage while
Got
that's
it.
there. And there's another ability that I got where with the poison, I could like throw a blast at an enemy that's already poisoned, and then they would sort of erupt and poison the other enemies around them.
Sick.
And kind of get more deeply poisoned as well. But see, here's the thing,
Love
though.
a
This is where I
poison
push back on.
explosion.
See that? I was just looking at a grapple point.
Yeah.
So there are little Metroidvania-ish
Okay.
things in there where, like, oh, I can't jump high enough for this spot.
Is there a map? Do you have a map?
There's a whole map mechanic.
Yeah. What's the
So-
mechanic?
So
Mechanic.
Mapcanic.
So these are like your bonfires, right? You get your little
Great.
points, and then you can fast travel between any of them, as well as like instantly fast traveling back to your kind of like little camp.
Like you can only travel to the camp from a bonfire.
Yeah, you have to get to a bonfire to
Got it.
fast travel.
Cool.
But yeah, it's a nice little animation there when you kill those guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is your hub at the
Dude.
witch tree, and so you meet
Yo,
different.
blood! I need this game right now.
You meet different characters, and they go back to your hub. So the first guy that you meet is the blacksmith, and then you give him ore and stuff like that, and you get diagrams for different weapons, and then he can forge weapons and armor for you. You also get like a seamstress who can help like make bandages and give you capes. And then there's the map guy.
The map guy, mechanics.
Yeah, so you find like
Yeah, he's a mechanic too.
you find bits of maps while you're exploring, and then you bring them back to him, and he like fills in.
And can
the
you
map.
only look at the map when you're like at home base, or can you just
No.
bring-
You can look at the
bring-
map at any
Okay,
time,
okay.
but you can't like
Yeah.
fill in.
I love
those
these
areas
character
without-
portraits. These
Yeah.
are so cool.
Yeah, I like that they animate.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and then cooking. So this is at the end, like buying meals, but then there's also recipes. But they're like, that's a lot of money for a recipe. It's 2,500 gold for the freaking cookbook
Jeez.
there.
Wow. Economy, dude.
Yeah.
What is the basic paragraph premise?
You are like an inquisitor,
Okay.
and you're going out. They send you out literally like on a witch hunt,
Whoa.
and you're following the trail.
We're the bad guy?
But like you start hearing these whispers, and that's like literally the title, "The Whispers of the Witch Tree." And your character's not really sure what's going on there. But yeah, so you have some towns that you get into. You also go through a lot of abandoned towns that are kind of overrun by bandits. Get into the sewers. Oh yeah, this is very Dark Souls, you guys. You're like this dude that like you gotta get him.
It's like a treasure goblin, dude.
Yeah, little treasure goblin. But then it's like, no, I can't follow him up there. This
I
was a
love
cool
this,
quest,
dude.
Hubert. So
This house, holy fuck,
dude in
dude.
town-
Haunted mansion.
the dude in town gives you a key to this house to go get like his childhood heirloom, his teddy bear or something like that.
Great.
And then the house is haunted,
Dude.
and you get deeper into it,
Tower full of mice.
and yeah, there's like these bodies hanging from the ceiling up in the attic, and then you got to fight this ghost, and you'll probably see it here in a second. But
I need
yeah,
this.
it's a pretty cool little thing. So that's what I'm saying. It's like once like I started getting past like some of the opening areas and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, there's some cool stuff going on here. Yeah, there they are.
Even during your preview, did you find yourself backtracking to open up new routes?
So that's the thing that's interesting is they also were talking about like it's there's not going to be a lot of heavy backtracking.
Okay.
So there are places, like I said, where like I couldn't go through here, or a door opens from the other side, or whatever. But it sounds like with the fast travel system and stuff like that, that they're really
They're streamlining that.
yeah they're keeping you kind of focused on moving more ahead into new areas.
Cool.
But so I wasn't quite feeling this character combat at first. But then I tried out the other classes. I wanted to try out the other classes before I talked about it.
Dude, that freeze animation is awesome.
And so aside from this character, which is the Nightshade, there's the Vanguard, which is kind of your like sword and board guy.
Classic.
And so with the Nightshade, like the left trigger plus X, there's some like ultimate or something that like I never even managed to trigger. To where like if you keep like doing enough poison attacks or you attack enough enemies, like eventually you will be able to pull that off. But with the Vanguard, instead of doing an ultimate, like I just had a parry, so I could parry dudes with my shield with that.
Sick.
With that.
Love a parry.
And similarly, like there are like the way that like sort of so like with the Vanguard, like I said, there's like little pips down there. Like you need enough charges to be able to activate your poison.
Got it.
But with the Vanguard, it was more like you had a bar that would fill up when you were in combat, and then when you're out of combat, it would go down. So you had to use your skills like combo into them. And then the Spellbinder, which is the third one I did, it was just a mana bar. So each one of their mechanics is sort of
it.
slightly different.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you said you can learn other classes' moves?
Yeah, there are crystals to where, like, I don't know if you can get, like, their full skill set, but you can get, actually, you might. Because remember when we were on the skill tree, like, you could kind of, like,
Perished.
like, LB, RB over to different things.
Yeah.
So I think that, yeah, you can unlock the other skills.
Got it.
But to get some of those, like, base abilities, you need the crystal, and then you equip them. And then the other thing with the Vanguard was I was coming across more weapons more quickly. And so I got there's like a big hammer in there. It was like, these guys, they have a big tower shield and the hammer, and like I killed one of them, and I'm like, oh, I got your hammer now, sick.
Nice.
Similarly with the Nightshade, I got one of the goblins had like a pair of daggers, and I got his daggers.
That's cool. So like the enemy will drop the weapon. Like if an enemy uses a weapon you use, you can maybe find it.
Right.
It's cool.
Depending on your class.
Yeah.
And then the Spellbinder was more of like your ranged. So you
Ranged
shoot
spell.
out this like purple chaos beam, and then that would have a chance of weakening an enemy too, putting a weaken
Nice.
effect on them.
Dawn, dude, in the last couple years, you have been grinding out like Metroid side-scrolling style action games, dude. What is your take?
He wasn't watching.
This looks like Dawn bait.
He's editing something.
Okay.
He's working, Huber,
Damn
unlike the
it.
rest of us.
Damn
We're all
it, Dawn.
working. Every person is working in this company right now.
Damn it, Dawn. All right, well, this is Dawn bait for sure.
This game looks sick.
Yeah, this game looks
reminds
so
me of,
good.
It reminds me of Salt and Sanctuary.
Right.
Which
Little
I
bit.
was like the one person that liked that game or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, that's coming out April 17th, so just about a month away now. And that is on PC, PS5, Xbox, and Switch. $40.
Dude,
So
amazing. Damiani, what's your take?
It looks pretty good.
Yeah?
The visuals look so impressive on it.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
yeah, they were talking
Like,
about
that-
Ori as an inspiration, Damiani.
I a lot of the ones that I'm familiar with, like Blasphemous and those types, like are more like pixel arty. This is a little bit more refined, and I kind of like that. It looks like this is like maybe like a little bit more budget, went into it. So that's kind of like nice.
Sick.
And yeah, like the attack animations look really smooth and fluid, so that's pretty good too.
Yeah.
They said 40 to 50 hours average for the main story.
Whoa! It's unexpected. Okay. Holy shit.
It's up there.
So an epic.
Main quests, secondary quests, and then optional bounty quests.
Love optional bounties. I
you do.
love it. And hunts. Dude, Final Fantasy 12 hunts, Damiani.
Bounties and hunts, bounty hunters.
Whoa.
Yep. Dude, the hunts in FF12, seriously, some of my favorite things to do.
They're fully supporting Steam Deck at launch. After launch, there's going to be a permadeath mode, as well as New Game Plus that they're going to add in.
Love
So,
permadeath.
Yeah.
I have not played permadeath until Ellie got stabbed to death in my Last of Us playthrough. Like 10 hours in, I was like, fuck. Alrighty. Mandragora, Whispers of the Witch Tree, coming April 17. That immediately shot up to must play. Day
Nice.
one. I'm there day one.
Nice.
100%. We've got more to come, but if you've been enjoying this show so far, please take a second to like and subscribe and ring that bell on YouTube. It helps us and helps you stay connected. It really helps us out. Hook it up so we can live and survive. Also, if you want to sponsor this podcast and put your name right here in this space, get in touch. Call us. You
Don't
can-
call us.
Don't call us.
Yeah.
Email
Don't
us
call us.
at info@easyallies.com and we'll get you all the details. And now,
Nope. You got to remember the stuff that's
If it's
blacked
gray,
out is
you don't
not.
say.
Is,
all
yeah.
right, all right,
If
all
gray,
right.
don't say.
If gray, don't say. That, I'll
It
remember that.
rhymes.
I'll remember it. All right, which brings us to what could possibly be the sleeper hit of the year. Keep
It's like the fifth game you've said that.
yes. This for
We already have
real, though.
Citizen Sleeper
Whoa.
2.
Please play Citizen Sleeper. Like, I will be reminding you gently pretty much every other week to
The
play.
literal sleeper hit
Yeah.
of the year.
Please. Please play it. It is the best. But we're about to talk about Keep Driving. Holy cow. This is more of a just a very brief initial impressions because I haven't played enough. I just played a few hours of this. But oh boy, did it leave an amazing first impression. So it is a turn-based, like there are
Turn-based, okay.
Well, there are like turn-based battles in this game. It's like it is its own kind of genre. There are definite Oregon Trail inspirations
Got it. That makes sense.
Procedurally generated, but
Okay.
basically my runs, you do runs or whatever, but the run is long, like more than 2 hours. So it's, settle in. But basically my goal was to get to this festival across the country or town or state. Anyway, you have to travel really far to go to this festival. And you have like optional objectives too, like, do you want to buy a tent to get there? Economy is a huge part of this game, as is inventory management. It's got that Resident Evil item box
yeah.
vibe in your car, like trunk space right there. It's so cool. It is an early 2000s setting with a ton of local bands. Unfortunately, I did have to put streamer mode on, but even then the
Right.
music was super, super good. There are literal turn-based battles in this game. Like, you'll be behind a car and your goal will be to pass the car, and it'll be like a turn-based battle. And yeah, it's like the combat is a little weird to explain, but basically there are different parameters that'll pop up, like tire damage or energy or gas. Those are kind of the main things you need to keep track of. And enemies will attack some of those things in a way. It'll be like, oh, if you don't clear this, you're going to lose gas or you're going to lose energy.
Okay.
And then you have to use your abilities to kind of counter those. And that's how it works. You can like combo things. But it's like it sounds more complicated than it is. It's pretty straightforward. Like the enemy will have, the attacks pop up and you just have to like knock out those attacks. And then that'll clear the encounter and you'll be on your merry way. Like this tractor, this is great. The phase right there. So yeah, gas, tire, energy right there. You have to use your abilities to match them. It's basically like you're matching abilities to counter it.
Got it.
Along the way, you can pick up hitchhikers, and they are freaking unhinged. They're absolutely
Nice.
so bizarre. We picked up like a 6-year-old girl who like doesn't know where she lives, and she's like, I need to find my mom and dad. Like, okay. And then we picked up this like creeper smoker guy who's just like always saying the weirdest things. So yeah, quite a cast of characters. They level up and can be used in combat as well. And then the economy is also a huge part. You've got to manage your gas and your tires and your energy. When you're tired, you've got to go to sleep. But it's all very streamlined. They don't overwhelm you with a lot of these survival mechanics. But yeah, you can go to town and buy food to replenish your energy. You can buy upgrades for your car, like better tires or more trunk space, or like a heater so you don't get cold when you sleep in your car.
Okay.
Like just little things like that. And yeah, it's just so addicting, dude. It's like, okay, it started out where it was like, okay, I'm just gonna like bomb it straight towards the festival. But then I started getting like all these little side activities because you can pick up jobs too.
Oh.
You'll get a job where it'll be like, yo, I really need help carrying all my music gear to this location. But then it was like, okay, well now I have to backtrack and take a different road that's going to be out of the way. That has its host of dangers because it's like, yo, I'm running out of money, I'm running out of gas, I'm running out of energy. So it's like you've really got to plan your routes pretty well and figure out, do I want to take a job or do I just want to go straight to the festival? And then, of course, the hitchhikers you pick up along the way have their own side quests as well. That was it. Immediately why this game is goaty. The first hitchhiker was like, take me to the casino.
Ah.
There we go.
And I was like, yes, I will take you to the casino. So that was one of the main side missions too. And it was like a little out of the way though. So it's like, all right, I'm going to go out of the
Right.
way down before then going back up north to the festival. So yeah, just a really, really unique game where you can make a couple comparisons, turn-based battles and Oregon Trail and
Well, you know what
Item
you know what I'm
management.
thinking, Damiani. I'm seeing some little similarities to FTL.
they say that's one of their inspirations,
There we go.
Damiani. that absolutely inspired by Oregon Trail, FTL, Two-Lane Blacktop, Paris, Texas, Jalopy, Gloomhaven, the Seventh Continent, and the developers' lives.
That's a list.
Yeah. So, but it is wholly unique in itself too, which is so awesome. Like, this is a game. This is a good game, chat. This is a sleeper hit. I know I've been saying that a lot, but I really do think this is one of the best games of the year so far. Truly. I'm ready to say that right now already.
The one of the things that's kind of a trip is just the way the UI is, because it's like
so cool.
You're seeing it side scrolling, but then you're also like in the driver's seat.
Totally. You have your glove box too. You can put a couple items in the glove box to use for combat. Some little extra abilities. Some like all these little events pop up.
Cameras.
Dude, the cops will like pull you over and shit. It's crazy. This game rules. This game speaks to me. Put it on your radar for sure. And also it's on Steam for the very fair price of $18 US.
Nice.
So not too pricey. Keep driving and I'll keep playing. Alrighty. Also this week, Blood.
Heck yeah.
Take us away, baby.
Damiani, this one's for us. Isla's going to pull up these art and screenshots. But at the end of the Humble Games Showcase on Wednesday, Chuhai Labs, which was founded by Star Fox programmer Giles Goddard, revealed Wild Blue.
Wild Blue.
Spiritual successor to Star Fox 64.
Dude, look at that
this art,
dude. Holy crap.
Dang.
Yeah, so we didn't get any gameplay footage. We got a little bit of cheeky voiceover and some screenshots. But there was a fun part in the teaser where it was like, do a barrel. We don't call that them here.
That's very funny. What
they got
platforms?
cute, huh?
Is this going to be at the Switch 2 reveal, you think?
Maybe. I don't know that they were really talking about platforms just yet.
Dude, Switch 2, that's why.
But I can pull that up. But it does talk about Damiani branching paths.
Love that.
Oh, there you go. That's a staple right there.
Yep.
Hopefully there's some secrets.
Yeah.
Some shooting some like asteroids point blank. Maybe flying into a giant space bird. See a black hole maybe involved. Giant gambling slot machine.
Dude,
that's
yes.
for you, Bert.
The best.
The space slot machine that never ends.
Yep. So sick.
Yeah, I really don't have any. They don't say what platforms yet.
Because they're waiting for the Switch 2, dude. For real.
Don asks if they're just looking for funding or something, or what's the deal?
No, I think it's just early, not super early, but they're just like, because even I actually did love like the trailer they put out, but the trailer was mostly them like yelling at the camera and being kind of goofy and like just it's more of like the personality of the developers more than anything, right? But yeah, Bowie Stray and the Blue Bombers.
Bowie Stray, what a name.
Yeah,
Shout out to the Blue Angels.
exactly.
Yeah. It's a nod.
Fighting against the evil Baron.
Will Major Tom make an appearance?
But yeah, so good stuff there.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, if we're not going to get a new Star Fox, like, please.
Hey,
There's so
April
many.
2nd.
Yeah, like it happened. It happened with. We talk about it with like Silk Song. It's like, if we're not gonna get a Silk Song, let's do it ourselves. It's like, when a company won't make a game, it's like, I love all these, people taking matters into their own hands to make that.
Yeah. Well, and again,
spiritual successor.
Giles was,
course.
on the original Star Fox. So
Yeah.
there you go.
So awesome.
Going back to the roots.
So cool.
Death Stranding 2 is out June 26th. About to spend the summer on the beach.
So
Uh,
hyped.
and we're not going to spend it at BlizzCon
Crazy.
because they're skipping this year. But they have a date, September 12th and 13th, 2026.
Got it. it's crazy because on one hand, it does feel so unrealistic to have this huge thing every year, but at the same time, like 10 years ago, it was unthinkable that Blizzard wouldn't have a BlizzCon to show off, like,
Right.
And to just feed on like the never-ending hype that studio used to have around it. And now when they don't do BlizzCons, it's just like, it's hard not to see it as like, what are you guys doing? Like, what are you doing? Marvel Rivals came and
Right.
ate Overwatch's lunch, and Path of Exile 2 is super hyped, and
Yep.
World of Warcraft just keeps limping along. Like, what is going on? It's crazy.
Yeah. And the never-ending succession of Disco Elysium successors. We've got an actual new game from. Do you know how to say it? Isla
I've always said Zaum,
Zaum. Yeah.
Zaum.
Yeah. So they're actually
which might
showing.
be wrong, but that's how I've always said it.
Yeah, they're actually showing their next game now, Project C4,
C4.
a new mind-warping espionage RPG.
Shout out to Disco Elysium, one of the greats.
Yeah, but the thing is there's been all kinds of splits and drama and people leaving the company, and so like now there's like 4 or something. I don't even know. I haven't counted. There's a bunch of games from people that worked on Disco Elysium that are in the works now.
Yeah.
As an operant serving a questionable global power, the player finds themselves locked in a vicious clandestine struggle for truth and influence. Yet it is the mind that takes center stage.
The body
in
cannot
Project
exist
C4.
without the mind.
More vulnerable and more powerful than the physical world, it can be erased, changed, reordered, and of course significantly altered through regular use of psychoactive substances. Amongst other means.
Weaponized hallucinogens.
Hell yeah.
Players must steel themselves with whatever comfort they can in order to survive the violent canvas of the real.
Is this a Strand game?
Desert of the
Of
Real.
the real.
Oh, I love you both. Yes.
So Huber, talking about the succession, on the same day,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
we learned about a different game, Hope Town, from Longdew Games, which includes some other Disco Elysium alumni, including one of the founders of Zaum
Interesting.
and one of the writers, as well as Lenval Brown, who was Disco Elysium's narrator.
Got it.
He's going to be in this. And
I mean, it's smart to capitalize on the momentum. Like, Disco Elysium is a critical, darling, celebrated game. So, like, you definitely want to try and get your game off the ground while you can still have a little bit of that hype from Disco Elysium. So it is crazy that we're getting like so many different projects, but I can understand why they're splintering off and trying to get a game going immediately, so you can be like, yo, we made Disco Elysium.
Yeah, so Hope Town is set in a mining town caught between decay and transformation, shaped by ambition, exploitation, and the fragile systems that bind society together. You step into the role of a rogue journalist, a chaotic,
rogue journalists.
self-destructive provocateur who sees humanity as inherently selfish and cruel.
Hell yeah.
Unapologetically cynical and dangerously unhinged,
Yes.
you thrive on poking at bruises, pulling at loose threads, and watching what unravels.
Whoa.
That game is called Hope Town.
Cool.
I feel like you can tell which artist stayed with which team. Because
Right.
like the other one has the like Hieronymus Bosch style artist, and this one has the kind of character style art that Disco had.
Yeah. And then this morning, Zaum announced that they are reimagining Disco Elysium to put it on mobile.
Huh.
So they're making a mobile version. So, craziness.
Yeah.
2 more quick ones, Huber.
Love it so much.
TMNT Tactical Takedown coming out May 22nd,
Great.
just around the corner.
Always more turtles is a good thing. Which reminds me, I gotta get number 3 or number 4 Turtles Cross Naruto comics. I've been collecting.
And then I should have brought it up earlier, but Split Fiction, 2 million in the first week.
So would it have been 4 million
Probably not.
if you had to buy 2 copies? You know what I mean?
I don't think all of those people would have bought one then.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Yeah, that's the thing. You
Yeah.
might have actually gotten fewer sales altogether. Yeah.
That's a good point. Good point. Epic.
Craziness.
So awesome. All right, we are rolling right along. It is time for love and respect. Love and respect.
Respect.
From none other than J.G. Wentworth.
877 cash. No.
Not actually. Just JG.
From J.G. Hey, allies. Hello.
Yo.
That new Death Stranding 2 trailer was incredible. The first one might be my second favorite game of all time.
Wow.
Why are you not going to tell us what number one is? Come on. Why are you doing this to me? I put more than 100 hours into it to get all the trophies and max everything out. Now I was planning to do a replay before 2 came out, but it is coming out sooner than I expected. I want to be locked in on the story, but I'm also afraid of indulging too much in a precious thing that I love. How do you handle replaying a franchise before a new entry? Have you ever burned yourself out on something you love? Great question. I always try to give myself runway. Like many months. So like, yeah, for Resident Evil, when a new one's coming out, I'll either do a full franchise replay through, totally unhinged, or I'll play like the last one that came out, but with enough time. I like to have...
Yeah, you need
I like to have like 4...
Don't just run it right into the next one.
Yeah, like I need at least like 4 or 5, even like 6 months from when I like replay finish it to when the new one comes out. So where it's like super fresh in my mind, super duper into it, but then at the same time when it finally that new one comes out, it feels like fresh and I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Or even something as simple as like the controls, right? It's like they change some things, they move some buttons over here, and it's like, wait, all of a sudden like your muscle memory is like you think you know how to play the game, and then you're just like fighting it for no good reason just because you just played the first one for 100 hours. So.
Yeah. Damiani.
Yeah, similarly in like when we talk about this with like catching up in shows and timing, it was funny because last month, like beginning of February, right after Cobra Kai ended.
Yes.
I did a rewatch for Cobra Kai, and I like slightly mistimed it. Like I finished like 2 days into the last 5 episodes dropping, which wasn't the end of the world because I just watched it over the weekend. But I was about to start up Stranger Things because I'm like, oh shit, for some reason my mind was like, it's like next week or something. It just has this year. It doesn't have a date yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like 3 times now. I've been like, should I start it now?
Yeah.
We got 9 months left. Like, how much time is it gonna take me to watch 5 seasons again? I was like, of Stranger Things. It's like, those are some long episodes.
They're long episodes, but there's not too many episodes. So if you watch one a night, or even like if you do 2, it went pretty quick. I did my full rewatch because I'm like, dude, final season, same exact thing. I want to have enough runway. Now I'm like I remember everything. I'm fully caught up on Stranger Things. Like all my lore is in order. I've done my housekeeping. But then by the time it comes out, it'll be like, dude, I'm ready. I'm itching.
That's what I just saw with the actor who plays Eddie. He plays Jason, the Red Ranger, in the Power Rangers reboot. The
Power / Rangers.
Like the realistic one.
Yeah.
I forgot that was him. It was like, that guy looks so familiar. And I was like, it's Eddie. I was like, oh no.
Sick.
I got to introduce you guys to the beauty of YouTube recap videos. I love them. They save you so much time. I'm getting to the point where it's like, White Lotus Season 3, I'll wait for the recap video. I don't give a shit anymore.
Damn. I love rewatching and replaying. It's just such a comfort. There's like a less... I always talk about how there's less noise when I rewatch and replay something because it feels like I'm doing it in my own personal pocket, and that is so fun because everything is so like when something comes out like Severance right now is like the most talked about. Everyone's hyped. Everyone's watching it. And it can be like too much sometimes. It's like too much noise, too much hype and just conversations. It's like sometimes I just like to enjoy things like on my own time. And
you get that weird thing where it's like you
really
enjoy an episode and then everyone's like dogging it. And it's like, what? I thought that was good.
That too. Yeah. You watch something and everyone's like, "Oh, that was horrible." It's like, wait, what? Like, yeah. So it's like I like sometimes just like, yeah, being in a pocket. So, yeah, sick. Have you ever burned yourself out on something you love?
Going from one to the next like that. Yeah.
I think I messed up with Tales of Iron. Like I finished 1 because 2 was coming out, but then 2 is like really similar to 1, so now I've kind of stalled because it was just like
Interesting.
kind of just went right into it. And like Tales of Iron 2 is excellent, but it was just kind of like a lot of more of the same. So I was like kind of a little fatigued there.
That's why I don't replay things. Because for me, the tension of like spending my time versus enjoyment is so... It's such a razor's edge most of the time.
Yeah.
That if I beat something the first time, it's beat unless it's something I like truly loved. Like, I'll replay Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Symphony of the Night, Outer Wilds, Myst, whatever. But it's like I ain't replaying Death Stranding 1, even though I loved it.
Yeah.
But it's like I carry that inside me, and I don't need, because like the process of playing it wasn't what I loved. Like I replay games for the play.
Yeah.
Not for the story, not for the, So it's like, that's why for like, something like this is like, I'll probably watch a recap,
Totally.
Like jumping back into Daredevil, I was like, let's watch a recap video.
Yeah.
Well, there's also, I mean, Death Stranding is kind of in a weird way, like similar to something like Animal Crossing or whatever, right? Where it's like you're building something, right?
Yeah.
And so like once you've had it built, it's like I don't want to do a new one because I like the one I have.
I think for me with Death Stranding specifically, and I was talking about it earlier when we were watching it, like I remember coming to the spoiler mode and be like, I didn't understand. So like for me replaying it will be like, okay, maybe I can like actually understand the story now with all of the knowledge of that first playthrough.
Reading the Wikipedia entries, just, like not trying to like even like learn like the whole story, but just reading a general entry for Death Stranding, and they start dropping terms. I'm like, what? Like the beach thing, and I was like, okay, slow down. I was like, damn it, Kojima.
Slow down,
What
Kojima.
are you doing?
Slow down. So funny. Hell yeah. Remember, you always get your first playthrough only once. Valuable thing. That first playthrough. It's a sacred thing. Next up, Harrison Holt. Hey, Alice. I think Isla mentioned on the previous podcast how she doesn't really feel sensitive to frame rate, which led me to wonder if there are any technical issues that are deal breakers for you or have been in the past, and conversely, are there any technical issues that you have pushed through because the game was just too damn good? I feel like my patience for performance has gotten worse as I've gotten older, but I remember back in 2010, Fallout New Vegas launch weekend, pushing through the memory leak on the 360 version of the game with multiple minute load times, crashing, and poor frame rates. It was a blast, and the performance didn't matter. So, technical stuff. Deal breakers for you with tech or tech issues that you have just pushed through regardless?
If you're like... I hate anything below 30 frames just sucks nowadays. So if it drops below that, but if it's like an action game where it either has been like 60 frames in the past and it's like a port, or is like a very action heavy game and it's like not open world and it's not even 60 frames. I don't know, like it feels, it doesn't feel great to play, honestly. And that's where I feel like the tech crosses over with the actual gameplay experience, because it's enough to someone like me where you feel like things like aren't as smooth, and so it can feel like a little off, and it just like kind of takes you out of it a little bit. And
Yeah, I love the
especially when
smoothness.
so many other games are, and especially like in like a character action game, when so many others are at 60 frames. That's where I would be like, yo, like something like a Bayonetta 3, like it could look like. Okay, it can look like ass on Switch. I don't care. As long as it runs at 60 frames and the gameplay is like amazing, let's go.
Yeah,
like,
I'll take 60 all day, every day over
like,
graphics.
Oh, it looks like a Switchy game. Like the environment, it's like this would look so good on like PlayStation or Xbox or PC, and it's like whatever, it exists and it plays nice. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
going
guess
to enjoy that.
I should qualify my statement that I don't mind frame rate if it doesn't change how the game is feeling. Like if I'm, if you're fighting a boss in something and like the frame hitch causes you to die, then that's irritating.
Oh
but
my
that to
God,
me is
yeah.
about like game feel. But also conversely, I was playing on a friend's jailbroken PS5, playing Bloodborne in 60, and 60 solid was like incredible. Changed the game, actually made it a lot easier, weirdly, because of the way that game works. But then they showed it to me on 120, but it was 120 cap, but like it fluctuated. And even though it was like between 80 and 120, that really bothered me.
Yeah.
Because for that game,
Stability.
yeah, for to me, like, because Blighttown, whatever, you notice a frame hit in a From game. To me, that stability was more important than anything. Like, I'll take a game at fucking 24 frames a second if it's solid. Like, I don't care. But yeah,
I really feel like an insane person because, like, I do not like OLED TVs, and I feel like I am just alone in this struggle and battle with OLEDs.
Dude,
like,
I
hate them.
I
hate my TV.
I have an OLED, and like, it does this weird thing where, like, I don't know, HDR or something, it just feels too weird. But also, there are times, and I don't know if the TV has like a energy saving mode or something where it darkens a little bit.
Dude. Right.
Like, there are so many times where I think
here.
I'm like getting a migraine because my TV is too dark to look at.
Some things are too bright, some things are too dark. I'm like, what is going on? But
Monster Hunter needs to cool it with the HDR. Like, you go into the bright sunlight in the desert and you're just like,
God.
I mean, it's realistic, I guess, but
And I feel like with frame rates, so specifically to bring it back to frame rates, is because I have so many issues with my OLED, like, the refresh rates on OLEDs are so fast that it makes anything less than like 60, the movement, when the camera is like moving on anything less than 60 on an OLED, it just looks like, it like hurts my eyes. There's just like this like blur, not a blurriness, but just like a harsher image that goes away when it's 120 frames with VRR, because I'll play something like The Last of Us or Spider-Man, specifically Spider-Man remastered on PS5 when it's 120 VRR looks perfect. And when you move the camera super fast around, like, you can't even tell like any of that stuff. But then any other game, like when I'm playing on it, I just have like so many issues, and it's like, man, is my TV botched? Am I crazy? Because everybody loves OLEDs, and it's like, I seriously, for the last like 6 months to a year, have felt like an absolute insane crazy person.
I've thought there was something wrong with my TV a few times, for sure.
God, OLEDs, dude, it's a scam.
The HDR and OLED screen of the freaking iPhone, I have 15 Pro, whatever. Like, I own ET on it, and I forgot I owned it. And I was like, oh, it just like, I got a notification saying, I was like, oh, okay. And it was like buried in like Apple TV app too. I was like, okay, that's a weird place to put it. And it's like HDR enabled 4K. And I'm like, compatible for your iPhone. I'm like, cool. The beginning with the damn ship and the lights and the forest, blinding me. Because I was like,
all
in my
they
bedroom
do is make
with the crane thing right above me. As soon as the main light hit my eye, I was like, oh my.
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta be shitting me.
The brights are
I was like,
so bright.
Turn it off. I was like, this hurts.
Yeah, it is insane.
Especially when you suffer from what my sister and I call light blindness, because our eyes are both very sensitive to like bright lights.
Yeah.
And so TV's like giving me like headlight reactions. It's like not what I want in a TV, Like, come on.
Yeah.
Back to the question too, though. I remember putting up with like extraordinarily long load times for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline. So that was a fun one.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the kinds of things that like really bum me out are when things like lose progress or like you kind of get like stuck in the environment
I hate
somewhere and you
that,
have to
yeah.
fight your way out.
Oh my god, having to reload your save because of a glitch
yeah.
and you lose like 10 or 15 minutes. I know it's not like
right.
the end of the world, but it is so deflating.
But what's funny though is it pulls into the thing that I fought through, which was Fallout 3, which was basically my first Bethesda game. And yeah, like there's so many insane bugs.
Yeah.
But I was loving that game. Like I had to
promise, dude.
I had to go back and
Yeah.
reset my to a save file that was like 3 or 4 hours earlier because
Yeah.
the right stick stopped working.
Oh my god.
I
I was really lucky because I had that on PC and
mods to fix things. Yeah.
and it just ran like really well. But then it kind of hurt me in the long run because everybody loves New Vegas, and I rented it from GameFly on console, and it was so rough. Exactly
Yeah.
like Harrison is talking about. It was so rough that I never finished it. I couldn't put up with it, Harrison. I didn't have your strength at the time.
I remember there was one particular spot, like in the north of the map somewhere, where there was a door, and like literally, if I pushed the button to open that door, the game would crash.
Oh my god.
And like,
Oh, I love those
I
though
would
when it's
keep
like
trying to go back, and
and
like,
it
nope,
keeps-
still
yeah.
can't go in there.
and you're just like you'll
I don't
like
know what happened.
you'll come up to the door, you'll be like, okay, maybe if I stand here and do it, and you're just like, nope. So funny.
Don't like the black triangles in Monster Hunter Wilds on PC.
Triangle. What are the black triangles?
It's a glitch in some areas
Oh,
where
no. Oh.
it just looks like from a light source, everything just the triangles turn black.
Wow.
Yeah, that I got to a part like pretty far in the
Yeah.
story
Shader
part.
problem.
And I was like, "What in the?" I thought my GPUs. I mean, I googled it. Like everyone who played on PC had the problem with it. I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Get me the hell out of this area! I can't stand this shit." So I was so happy when I got out of there. I was like, thank God.
Yeah, when you're talking about PC stuff, the thing that's killed my progress on many PC games, including freaking Callisto Protocol. The
Shout out Callisto Protocol. You had a bad go of it. I love it.
The shader compilation stutter. To where it's like, once you've gotten past that point in the game, then it won't happen. But then it's like, well, so my first playthrough is just screwed. Like
Yeah,
what? Like
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when it impacts like when you're camera turning and
Yeah.
like that. That's like I hate that. Like, that sucks.
Viewers, listeners, seriously tweet at me. Tweet at me your OLED thoughts. Am I crazy? Do you agree? I need to get to the bottom of this. I need to know what the hell is going on. Is my TV messed up? Are my eyes messed up? Do I need to go get another eye exam? Like, let me know. Seriously, at me your thoughts. I appreciate it. Next up, Danky Kang. Hey, allies. I finally started playing Balatro, Gabby,
Nice.
recently. And I'm having some interesting difficulty with it.
Okay.
Okay, let's get into this. I'm too used to playing Crib. I don't know what Crib is. Is that
Cribbage?
Crib? C-R-I-B. Crib.
Probably, yeah. It's a card game.
Okay. Whenever I see the cards 6 through 9, I keep thinking, oh, sweet. There's a run
Yeah,
in two
short for
15s.
cribbage.
Got it. Never played it. I'm not sure I felt this type of what I'm referring to as knowledge cancellation so strongly before, where the mechanics are one game are similar but different enough that it consistently throws you off. That's so interesting. Do the allies have any memorable examples of this phenomena? Great question.
Knowledge cancellation.
That is so interesting.
I love that.
Yeah.
The thing I think about is like when you go from like a character action game like a Devil May Cry or something into like a Souls game and like you're,
Oh my gosh.
you're used to
Oh,
like
yeah.
attack being on
Yeah.
a face button and then now it's on the shoulder.
Yes.
You know, it's like, oh, and,
Okay, there you
Or
go.
a
and
game
then
when
you
like
try to dodge
sprint
and you're like,
yeah.
That's
nope,
the
I
fucking
just
one.
died. Yep.
Yeah, it's so good. That's such a good one.
Yeah, doing that, and I did that. for something. Oh, I was playing something that had at controls like that before going into Monster Hunter, and I was like, God damn it! Why are my swings on my face buttons and I was like for like wilds? I was like for like the tutorial part, I was like hitting the wrong buttons nonstop. I was like kept sheathing. I was like, come on, like where's the shoulder button version? And then a few times like when what was it? Bloodborne and Elden Ring. When Elden Ring came out and I was playing that like nonstop, anytime I'd go back to like 14 and I'd be like, what the fuck are all the buttons? Because you hit the shoulder buttons to activate the cooldowns. But I was like, why aren't they coming out when I was like, God, this is stupid. I was like, it's like, I don't know how to play this game and I played it for 10 years. What's going on? What's wrong with me?
So good.
Dodge button also is a big one. Like
the dodge.
Sometimes it's circle, sometimes it's X. Like
Totally.
yeah.
Any other knowledge cancellations in there?
It's a really good question, but hard to come up with
Totally.
thoughts of it.
If you ever play, go from play like Ocarina or Majora, and then go to like Breath of the Wild where you have manual jumping. So you you run to a ledge and then like in the old Zelda's 3D you auto jump and it's like wait it didn't take that long, but it was like there was a few times I'm like, why didn't I jump? Oh yeah, it's a jump button. I'm like, God, that's so stupid. And Breath of the Wild, thankfully it was one of the buttons you could change. Nintendo allowed you to flip where it was, just like if it was the top button or the I forget X and B or Y and A, whichever their configuration is. I was like, I want it. They default to it's on the bottom. I was like, no, put it on the top, please. It's like, oh gosh. So that saved me because I was gonna like freaking lose it with that control scheme. I was like, Nintendo, stop.
Totally. Did you want to talk about Silent Hill Island?
It was on there, but then it was gone, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I had it on there as like a question mark before we watched the thing, and then it was like, well, I don't know. Do we have anything we want to talk about it? I guess we can throw it in here.
Cool.
Yeah, it just felt like the
transmission could have been an email.
Yeah, the transmission... The transmission said a few really nice things just about, clearing up the composer situation, like Yamaoka's doing the Fog World, the other composer is doing the Other World. That's really cool. So it'll be like two distinct sounding soundtracks. They kept talking about, the theme of
bringing it to Japan,
bringing the disgusting horror that is beautiful as well. That was like one of the big sticking points. And then just the entire Japanese
beauty through
culture
horror.
Of it. Yeah.
Yeah, find the horror, the terror in the beauty.
Find beauty and terror. That's what it actually says. Yeah.
I mean, shit. The expectations now. I feel like the expectations were already pretty high with this before Silent Hill 2 remake came out, because it was like, okay, Silent Hill's coming back. Like everybody was like, oh well, the 2 remake Bloober, that's kind of weird. Like we're all about F. This is the real deal. Next entry Silent Hill. But now, because 2 remake was so well received, I feel like the hype and the expectations now are a little stronger, a little more intense for F.
Yeah, I think there was sort of like a little bit of a sense of like, well, it's been a long time since Silent Hill, so
we're just happy that it's back.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Mm-hmm. Like F looks cool, but I don't know. And now it's like, this game better be pretty freaking good. And so far, like what we see looks good, but we haven't. What we were hoping to see was like a more like extended, like here's gameplay, and it's like we get some sort of gameplay-ish things in this trailer, but it's still more cinematic.
Yeah.
But I will say that like, and they kind of said this during the transmission a lot, but like the vibes are there.
The vibes are so
even
right.
though it's not in the Pacific Northwest, like quote unquote the Silent Hill town.
The titular town.
The titular
Isla?
Silent Hill. It feels like Silent Hill still, and like it's the 60s, so it's
so
predates, a lot of the mainline games. I mean, like there's lore and story stuff that goes way earlier than that in Silent Hill itself. But like the games generally take place after that. So like that's kind of interesting, and like what in this will influence those games and stuff like that. So it's interesting to have a prequel essentially
Like,
on our
will
hands.
we see the titular Silent Hill at all?
Yeah, one wonders.
You
Because
know?
like that's been a thing in a couple of the games where it's like you aren't in Silent Hill for a while, and then you get there and you're
Yeah.
like, oh damn. I almost feel like we won't go to Silent
Yeah.
Hill, maybe
Right.
literally, but who's to say? I mean,
Who's to say?
Will there be some? Will there be a shipment of fog to
yeah, a
America?
little classic little fog shipment. Maybe they'll have like a tunnel that bores through the earth that goes from this town in Japan to Silent Hill.
We
This
do
guy-
have battle damage on our character.
Yeah, the
though.
battle
Yeah,
damage
it does
too.
seem to,
Really,
yeah.
really like full Die Hard situation. Really showing this character going through it. You
Yeah.
know, I imagine this battle damage is going to be progress as the game goes on.
Yeah,
Like that
it gives
shot
me a
where she has the
Batman
pipe.
kind of vibe. You know,
As
it's
long
like,
as it's not like Third Birthday or whatever, where it's like kind of pervy.
right.
Didn't look it.
No, it looked like mostly her back and her
Oh,
arm.
that thing at the end.
Their face getting ripped off is crazy.
Her face just starts to
Smile.
peel off of her face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's on everything, which is cool,
Mm-hmm.
except for Switch, of course.
Switch 2, they've got to
Switch
wait
2?
for the announcement. But yeah, it's so nice that Silent Hill is like full on back. Gives you a little bit of Fatal Frame vibes. Obviously, the
Yeah,
setting and
yeah.
the tone and the pace of the trailer too. Kind of just like wandering around in fog and seeing weird, scary shit. That's very Fatal Frame.
Well, and the flowers, and especially having played Short Message,
Yes.
which dealt with girls in school and bullying and troublesome things, and this being before that and largely following maybe the story of girls in school as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the monsters in this look, kind of like other girls her age, so it's like we were positing like, are the enemies, because in Silent Hill 2, obviously much has been made of the like sexualized enemies representing repressed parts of James's psyche. And it's like, okay, are the enemies in this, the things she's afraid of, like the girls at school and all that kind of stuff. And like the flower monster from Short Message, like in Short Message, they had legends of things. And I was always wondering if any of those were, legends of girls that had gone to that school, 45, 60 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
Talking about setting expectations, the last bullet point in the press release, an experience that pushes boundaries.
Pushes boundaries.
Silent Hill F will challenge players with uncomfortable themes and their attached psychological torment. The game reflects the customs and culture of Japan during that era while delivering an intense and deeply emotional horror experience.
Make me uncomfortable, Silent Hill. I challenge you. Make me want to put the controller down and take a deep breath. I dare you. I want it to hit that hard. Seriously.
Yeah, it looks great. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I was expecting a date. I was expecting gameplay.
Yeah, I was expecting a date. I
like-
really was expecting a date.
Like,
Yeah.
I enjoyed the round table. I enjoyed those guys talking, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. And, like, they can make a transmission be whatever it wants to be. So it's like, it's not like they lied to us or anything, but it was just like, I don't know. My expectations were higher than this, but, like, the trailer is great, so.
Yeah.
Totally expected, like, a little bit of gameplay at the very end.
Yeah.
Because I was enjoying them being like so passionate about it. Like they were selling it so well, and it never felt like Corpo selling it. It felt like, yo, we have re-looked at this franchise, and we are, the whole thing about setting it in Japan I thought was just so interesting.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, definitely could have gone for a little gameplay. Maybe they're saving it for good old Jolly Keeley. The Keeleys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or April 2nd.
Or April 2nd, where all of our hopes and dreams will come true. April 2nd,
Yo, that actually does
Remember.
happen from time to time, though.
April 2nd, the Switch event original one was 70 minutes. They
Dude.
spent 20 minutes on like the hardware and features before they started switching over they did like 1-2 switch, and they did like
70
arms to
minutes.
show off the Joy-Con functionality, and then they rolled into Odyssey and just did like 40 minutes of games or whatever.
God,
So
dude.
45 minutes of games, man. That's like an
Holy
E3 plus the
shit,
hardware. Like,
dude, holy shit. We're so close.
they're coming.
We are so close to the day. Oh, it's going to be so fun. Going to be so exciting. By the way, right after this brief message, Easy Allies patrons are getting 2 bonus love and respect questions. We've got one that's already getting into awards discussions for Split Fiction already. It's we're in March talking about goaties. So if you want to get in on that extended cut, consider becoming a $5 patron at patreon.com/easyallies. Do it. Do it. Help us out. You also get this podcast 2 days early and ad-free. Incredible value. You can submit questions to Love and Respect, and you get into our official Discord where they do really, really awesome top 10 lists. But it's top 10, but it's actually like top like 30, 40.
Oh, they'll go 60, 80 deep.
Yeah.
Some new people have come in this week too, so that's nice to see.
Yes.
Welcome.
Welcome. We love it. We love to have you here. Love and respect. We need your support to keep the show running each and every week. So if you're listening and investing your time, consider also investing a little bit of cash into the bucket to pay the bills. Again, that's patreon.com/easyallies. Also, we are always on twitch.tv/easyallies a ton. Now that Split Fiction is done, we're going to start locking down those hunts.
Yep.
Please be excited. Also, if you really want to help us out, you can join one of our producer tiers. Our platinum producers get a shout out each and every month, or each and every week. And this month's shout outs go to Jabawabs, Elthanis, and Raymond Wheeler III. Shout out!
Shout out.
Now, come join us on Patreon for those bonus questions. All right, it is time. It's time for me to collect. Time for me to collect my winnings. If you don't know or if you forgot, I was the winner of the Easy Allies podcast bets for the year of 2024.
That's sketchy tokens right there.
Yeah, I'm not doing too well to defend that title in 2025. Holy crap. My goodness. Wow. New rule, if you go through the entire year and don't score 1 point at all, you get a bonus. I'm just kidding. Seriously, I was thinking about that. Like, what if you went through the whole year and just don't get one right? I'm on my way.
Hasn't happened yet.
God. So I won 2024. And one of the conditions was that everyone had to draw box art for a game of my choosing, but with a bit of a twist. This was inspired by a photo of a used copy of the Elder Scrolls, which depicted an anthropomorphic scroll that looked like an old man with a mustache and a cane. You get it? Now it's time to reveal everyone's box arts for Streets of Rage.
All right. So here we go. This is.
Oh, you're going. Holy shit, dude! Road Rash.
So this is
Road
Konami
Rash?
games.
Nice.
You put Road Rash. Yo, A+,
Nice.
Isla.
This is Damiani's.
Oh, this is Damiani. A+, Damiani.
Before you show mine, let me set it up, okay?
Holy shit! And Wario.
Yeah. So
It's
we
amazing.
got Wario coming down in the rainy city here,
Laker
driving a Tesla, obviously a bad Cybertruck. And we got the Road Rash Warriors coming in. I guess they're classified as domestic terrorists now, but yeah. We got Frogger trying to cross the street down here. Just like an easy, innocent little Frogger just trying to go across. Meanwhile, like Akuma's back here, just like too cool for all of this, just showing us his back.
Punished.
Everything's just on fire because it's the state of things. The Velociraptor dinosaurs just like, cool. When you guys are all dead, I'm going to rule the world. I cannot wait for this.
Dude, Luca.
We got the missile, the bullet bills carrying Luca over to LA over here.
Why Luca,
more
dude?
fires to the world over here. We got Bloodborne PC port just waiting in the burning building in that window right there with Hollow Knight and Silk Song on the rooftops, just waiting to swoop in for their moment.
This is insane.
Half-Life 3 lives on the building here. It's graffiti. The people still believe it's going to come true. And then the logo for this I got like Streets of Rage. This is an homage to the baseball caps going on sale right now. There you go. The MLB baseball caps you can get right now. Those sick ass team logos with the big letter in the middle on top of the logo.
I feel full on the pander, Damiani. I am fed by the pander. 10 out of 10. Yeah, so good.
All right. I think yours is next, Blood.
Okay. So again, that was a challenge when you said Streets of Rage, because like with the Elder Scrolls, like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, do something cutesy, but like, how do I put it? But with Streets of Rage, I was like, how do I twist on Streets of Rage? Like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But then, Huber, I remembered Streets of Rage has a different name in Japan.
Bare knuckle, dude.
I present to you
Yo.
Bare Knuckle.
Yo.
Nice.
With Kuma from Tekken.
What a big brain move, dude. Such a big brain move. Oh my God. Incredible. Dude, Bloodworth. Dude, nice little artistic signature with the DB.
Oh, yeah, I've had that since high school, yeah.
That's awesome.
My monogram.
Wow. That's what it's called, a monogram?
Yeah, DRB, yep.
What's the difference between a signature and a monogram?
Well, signature is a signature. A monogram is,
It's like
multiple letters in one letter, basically.
God,
yeah.
awesome. 10 out of 10, Blood. Unreal. Bare knuckle. The pander with the puns and the bears and the Japanese name of the game. 10 out of 10 as well.
Okay, I think Don's is next. Let's see.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's Don's.
Dude, good coloring there. Holy
Yeah.
shit. Dude, and those street lights.
And the road is a snake, dude.
The road is
Holy
a snake.
Shit. This is Don's?
The road is a
Yeah.
snake. In perspective, like,
Don,
yeah.
Don, tell us
crazy.
about it.
Don's not by the mic, but
Use crayons. Okay,
so
we got
use
that.
crayons.
Great.
And some paper, thin paper. Yeah, that's it. It's a cobra snake, it's the street morphing into a cobra.
Completely inaudible.
They can't hear you, Don.
I heard a cobra snake. The snake is the street.
he's coming over. Hang on.
We got him.
Yeah, you
Finally.
used some crayons as the medium here, and we got a road, a thoroughfare, as it were,
Sick.
emerging from the tunnel of the city there, and curling around just as a cobra does.
Yeah.
I added the fire as sort of a last minute.
Dude, that is a great choice. The
touch
cobra
to
on
express some of the
fire.
rage. I really need to put the rage theme over the top. So.
Dude.
No way you can tell this is a fighting game, though.
Were you thinking of either Cobra Kai or Orochimaru when you drew this
Probably
snake?
closer to Cobra Kai if I'd have to pick one. Yeah.
Great. Excellent. Love it, dude. And wait, are those the cars are there, right? The two cars?
The two cars.
Yeah.
Nice. That's sick. Love it, Don. I also really love the way you did the like checkered on the rage there.
Mm-hmm.
That is
that's
sick.
supposed to be like bricks. That was sort of my tipping my cap
Got
to
it.
the actual
Cool.
Streets of the Rage. It's supposed to be like a wall.
So sick. Really good colors, dude. I love it. The blue, sick. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Keep them rolling.
All right, this next one is mine. Nope, this is Gabby's, I guess. This one's Gabby's.
Streets of Rage.
That's good.
That's really funny.
That's such a funny angle. Yeah, it's really good.
Dude, I love that. Dude, if that was the box art, I'd be fucking
The street
stoked.
sign.
I'd be so stoked.
Could have some blood dripping off of it. She says it's technically pixel art, but you can't really tell.
Dude, I love
I do like the idea
colors.
though, of like instead of a steel pipe, you just pick up a street sign.
yes.
Oh my
And then
God,
the
yeah.
street
The
sign with like
titular sign?
some blood on it is
Dude.
just like that's the box art. Like
Yeah.
just like it's laying on the ground after you beat someone over the head with it.
Is it rating pending because you're not sure if it's going to be adults only or mature?
She said, yeah.
I really like the background too. The colors are freaking awesome.
Yeah,
10
I like
out of
that
10.
pixel art gradient.
It looks so cool. Like, this is so clean. I would buy this box. Awesome.
Okay, now I think this will be mine. Maybe. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's
There
mine.
it is. They're just attacking each other.
So I assumed everyone would do this, but I made it literal that the streets were enraged and fighting each other. Yeah.
It's so good. Easy to think of this when you live in California,
Yeah.
in Los Angeles, of course, because the streets have a lot of rage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is Cahuenga and Sunset fighting each other.
Oh god.
The pothole.
Yeah, that's so good, Isla. I love it. The exclamation point too. Streets of Rage.
And I used only colors from one of the Streets of Rage box arts.
Sick.
But
That's
I-
awesome.
Yeah, I hand drew it on a tablet and then took it into Photoshop to colorize it.
I love the two different mouths too. This one, like, kind of like Joker looking smile over
Yeah.
here. This one with like the teeth all menacing. Super good smiles.
Yeah, I was like, what would a mouth on a road look like? Yeah. Yeah. And it didn't end up looking like a couple of legs, which I was happy about. Because at first, when I first drew it, I was like, this could go south accidentally. But it didn't, so I'm glad.
Love it. Thank you, everybody. So good. So awesome. I love how different they all were. That was awesome
Nice.
and really excellent. Nobody phoned it in. Those were all freaking excellent. And any day where we can just say Streets of Rage is a good day. Y'all listening and watching now, you're all thinking about Streets of Rage. You're all re-downloading it right now.
I suppose we should post these on social media or something for people who listened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
let's
guess
do it.
on Sunday, once it's public.
Tweet at Sega. Let's go. Streets of Rage. Awesome, everybody. So good. All right. Which brings us right into bets.
Yo. There's no music for bets. Well, there is music for bets, but
I'm
not
just-
typically dancing for bets.
I'm not dancing. I'm floating in the endless void because I have 0 points. All right, this week's bet. It's finally time. It is finally time. After so long, Assassin's Creed Shadows will release this time next week. And at this time next week, at the time of this podcast, how many viewers will Assassin's Creed Shadows have on Twitch at this time? Simple question. Damiani, the arrogant child.
12,000.
12,000.
12,000. Okay. Bloodworth, the wicked worm.
41,000.
1,000. Okay. Isla, the whimsical scum.
26,000.
The man who cannot be stopped, Don, punished Castellanos.
12.6 thousand? Okay.
Wow.
He just wrote 12.6, but I assumed it was thousand.
Threading the needle against Damiani there. I don't know how Don keeps doing this.
He
Gabby,
almost put 12.2, he says.
the strange Valentine.
Gabby, what'd you have? 6K.
What the hell have I done? What is
What did
my
you do?
What is my problem this year, dude?
What did you do?
I said 85,000.
Good God. Yeah. Who's to say?
Who's to say? Hopefully, there's like some sponsored streams going on, and like one person has like 70K. Who knows? Let's hope.
I mean, if two big streamers are streaming it, or if it has like a bunch of crazy bugs and everyone wants to like make fun of it, it could
Yeah.
be huge.
Bloodworth, you're my only competition if it's high, because you got 40, I got 80,
It's
basically.
true.
All
Pretty
right.
good gap there, but yeah.
Yes. Last week's bet. Mickey 17 released in U.S. theaters last weekend from Bong Joon-ho and Robert Pattinson. U.S. theaters last weekend and in Korea a week early. Last week I wanted to know what the worldwide box office would be today According to Box Office Mojo, Damiani and Bloodworth were both out. Isla said 117 mil. Don said 66 mil. Gabby said 20. And I said 75. The answer was $49.26 million. That is. Let me check again. Check it again right
The
now.
link's right there.
I'm checking right now. Confirmation.
It's the same.
I'm just checking. All right, 49,266,061 US dollars, which means, what do you know? Punish Castellanos.
already.
Again, Don wins.
Firing off the guns. I wasn't dancing.
Holy crap, Don. Which brings the scores to Don. Punish Castellanos for...
Dispatch. Me llamo Castellanos. ¿Qué pasa con este mal?
Obsess. And Bloodworth, the Wicked Worm, with 2. And then Isla with 1, and everybody else with 0. There you go. I'm in quite a hole there. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Gotta do like some like mafia style tampering, dude. I'm gonna like go to Don's
You have a
house.
sketchy token.
I'm gonna go to Don's house and
It doesn't have to be used against
The
me.
sketchy token is only
Yeah.
to be used on Bloodworth.
yeah, it is only
It's
to be used on
Bloodworth.
Bloodworth. But no, Don in the real world, I'm gonna go to Don's house and like siphon his gas so he can't make it here to bet.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We can just break his knees.
Whoa.
No violence.
Oh, okay.
Just take
we'll
his
slash
gas.
his tires.
Ready for you, Huber. I sleep underneath my car, protecting from catalytic converter thieves, so I'll be ready.
Catalina converter. They are. They're stealing those catalytic
Ladies and gentlemen,
converters.
welcome to the stage, Catalina Converter.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Good job, Don. We shot a very cool interview today. Please be excited. We thought
I wrote that in the anticipation that it would be cool on my end, but it's definitely cool on the other end. Like, hopefully it's cool on my end.
it's cool, blood. It's cool. We thought it was going.
What?
We thought it
It
was.
was good. It was a good interview.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
We thought it was going to be in this week's episode, but we've got to hold it for a few weeks. So look forward to that next month. We also have the full playthrough of Split Fiction we've been talking about, which is available on Twitch and Easy Allies Plays. So check that out. There's also my Doom the Dark Ages preview coming. That game is so close. Also, Bloodworth is going to GDC next week. That's awesome.
Heck
I've never
yeah.
been to GDC. Is it fun? You love it. I love hearing your GDC stories. And also the 9th, so close to 10, holy shit. 9th anniversary stream will be Tuesday, March 25th from noon Pacific to 8 p.m. Pacific. Thank you everyone who got us here. 9 years, that is amazing. That is incredible. That is all because of you. So much love and respect. Hug chucks all around. It is awesome. 9 freaking years, Easy Allies. Love and respect. Which brings us to the winner again. It is Don. Oh, jeez. You get to shout, hey, at least as long as it's not Bloodworth, Don. As long as it's not Bloodworth. You get to shout out to anything or anyone that's on your mind this week. You get the final word, and you get to sign off with your trademark sign off. Take it away, Punished Castellanos.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to use this time to shout out a game that I think needs a little bit of love and attention. It's called Super Polygon Grand Prix SPGP. Okay, this
Okay.
thing is in early access. Think Virtua Racing to the extreme. Sick ass looking polygon racer. Super fun. Like I said, early access, but it's doing so many things right, and it's by a super small indie. I think this might even be a one-man show.
Cool.
Look into it a little bit, okay?
Hell yeah.
Look
What,
into
say
it.
the name again one more time for everybody.
Super Polygon Grand Prix SPGP.
Awesome.
Yes, you got to check this thing out.
Don, you
And-
only have good recommendations, so I will definitely be
I've-
checking it out.
Yeah. This thing, I think a lot of people.
yeah.
I think a lot of people are gonna like this, and I hope it gets a lot of success. Who knows? This thing
Sick.
looks awesome. Yeah. Final word, Huber. You on the another note, a less happy note.
Oh,
you may
no.
know about this fleecing we're experiencing. This fleece job by the Lottery Association. You know what I'm talking about?
No, what did they do?
This week, Huber, I've never been
What?
so upset about something. This week we're being classed out, Huber. You know, what do I want to do? I want to bust my hump all week, okay? Just so I can have the luxury of going home and buying a couple of Mega Millions tickets.
Yeah,
you know?
$2
Give
a
myself
pop.
A chance at
Yeah,
happiness.
I usually buy one
$2
every couple
a
of months
pop.
or weeks.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Huber. Well, times have changed.
No, don't
times
even tell
have
me.
changed, Huber.
Don't even.
Guess how many percentages the price of a Mega Millions ticket went up? 50%?
It went from
100%?
It's 2. Are you about to tell me it's
200%?
like $8?
$5, Huber. $5 for a single ticket. There used to be a day you walk into a 7-Eleven, you feel like a millionaire because you spend $10, get 5 of these things. That feels good. Now, you can hardly even get one.
That
Why
is
are they doing
crazy.
this? Why are they doing this? I had a long discussion with the clerk at 7-Eleven the other
Yeah.
day. And why are they doing this? How are they justifying this increase in cost? Well, it's going to create more billionaires, more billion-dollar payoffs, okay? Who the heck's looking to be a billionaire
what
out there that's
the-
buying a $2 ticket? You know what I'm saying? It's like now the millionaires want to be billionaires. The only one that can afford a Mega Millions ticket
Yeah.
are the millionaires. Am I right, Isla?
Yeah.
With that kind of money, $5 a pop.
This
And
is
your odds are
bullshit.
going to increase. Well, of course your odds are going to increase. There's only like 100 people in the country that can afford to buy a ticket.
Yeah, that
Wait,
is-
wouldn't that make your odds decrease?
Like,
Well, I don't know.
I am a gambling man, and I love numbers when they pertain to gambling. The lottery is such a bad bet. There
It's
are
one
no
of our
worse
last-
bets.
But it's a
Now-
gambler's last bastion of hope.
But yeah, now for $5, that is crazy.
Yeah, so it's totally insane. I'm going to, use this, what do you call it? Grandstand, opportunity,
Soapbox.
platform. Thank you, soapbox, whatever you want, to take this opportunity. Lotto Association, you got to rethink this thing.
Crazy.
Rethink this thing and take it back. Just like if the Unreal Engine, who did it? Who took it back?
150%.
You talking about
increase.
Yeah, Unity. If Unity could do it, the Lotto can do it. That's all.
150% increase
Yeah,
is
that's insane.
actually fucking insane.
This is insanity that's going on. So, that's what. Yeah, maybe I should. Anyway, sayonara essays. Lots of love. Mwah.
I present to you Bare Knuckle.